Good morning everybody and welcome back to the penultimate episode of the Lego Legend of Zelda Custom Set Showcase Wave 8 based off Tears of the Kingdom, where today I've changed my mind once again, and not only are we looking at the long-awaited Z0082 but also Z0085 with 303 pieces. This is the Tea Time with Sonia and the Zonai Constructs Battle Pack, and these two are being given together not only because they are both small sets but because they can be combined in another unique way. So let's jump into talking about our polybag first with Z082 Tea Time with Sonia for ages 5 and up, because it's just a polybag with 49 pieces retailing for £4.99, with one minifigure, that being Sonia. And this was really the only way to include her in the showcase without doing a death scene, because she's not really in the story very much, but she is still a main character and I did want to include her. We're also going to be taking a look at Z085, the Zonai Construct Battle Pack for ages 8 and up with 303 pieces, retailing for £18.99 Great British pounds, which contains 2 minifigures and 2 brick built characters. And you guessed it, this is indeed a battle pack to army build the ancient Hylians, or just Hylian guards in general I suppose, and then also some of the construct variants for your own collection needs. So I've got a quick description for this battle pack before we take a look at the set itself. Build your army to defend the kingdom from the Demon King's army. Stockpile Zonai devices to arm the constructs and Hylian soldiers while fortifying your position using the Royal Gazebo Outpost. Combine with Z0082 to convert this defense operation into a royal dinner party and display the banner of the king to decorate your Lego Zelda collection. And that it highlights the combinability not only with multiples of this set for a battle pack, but also with Z082, the Sonia set that we're just going to be looking at, to turn this into the gazebo from the memory. So let's open up our box for the battle pack to find 2 numbered bags and an instruction manual, that if we open that up as well, we'll get our first bag, which gives us our 2 construct builds. This is a Captain Construct 1 and a Soldier Construct 2, a little weapons rack where the vinyl banner will be displayed, a crate full of some Zonai rockets, and a cooking pot or portable pot. And then bag 2 gives us our Zonai Hylian soldiers and then the gazebo build itself. But we're going to jump back to Sonia now for a second. So back over in Z082, Tea Time with Sonia, we can see that our bag contains a couple of different builds, which we're going to take a look at now. So as I mentioned, this set is based off the picnic scene from the Tears of the Kingdom memories, where Zelda drops a bowl on the floor and Sonia learn about Link. So included is a table, which can be blank but can also be decorated with all these different cutlery bits, where we have the bowl with the red liquid in it that gets dropped, or if it's on the table. We've got another bowl which is empty, but you can put these berries in, and we've got a plate which has an apple on it. Again, 3 apples included in this set, the golden apple or the 2 red apples. We also have the teapot here in sand green as well, to create the sort of food aesthetic. But this is not the only food you get in the set. As mentioned, apart from the 3 apples, you also get one of these friends baskets with a couple of these round petal studs in the magenta colour, to represent the wild berries, and these are attached to a small bush on a 2x2 jumper so that you could pick the berries. And the reason this was chosen, because in the memory you can see a steward construct which has one of these baskets full of stuff in their hands. So again, you could combine this with the steward construct from the Great Sky Island, which is how you'd have to get Rauru. So with this set, Rauru and the battle pack, you can actually recreate this memory perfectly, excluding Zelda, who is coming in another set. As a side point, you've also got 2 chairs as well. These chairs have a jumper on them so that Sonia can sit down, because Sonia, like the characters from Rivendell, not only has a dress piece, or legs I should say, which can sit on normal studs, but also has a dress that you can swap out so that she can sit in the chair and her dress still flows forward. The removability of this 1x2 tile, which is necessary for Sonia's dress piece, to the 2 studs, is also useful for Rauru, who would need that to sit there as well. As mentioned, you could take all the food items off the table, and this would allow you to put the secret stone on the top, because this set also does include Sonia's secret stone. This is important because it's the only way where you can get this, because technically, while you've got the yellow one for Zelda's time power as well, here is hers that gets stolen by Ganondorf later on, and you can use this table as sort of an altar for it as well. But let's take a look at that minifigure of Sonia. She's using pretty much all existing parts. Here she is with her leg version, got detailed leg and torso printing, with a little bit of work on the arms as well. She's got a dual-sided face, one of which would show shock and the other which is her nice smile, and she's actually just using one of the existing hair pieces that flows nicely over the shoulders like you would expect in tan, because no new pieces for this polybag. As mentioned as well, she has a secret stone here, bringing us to 7 of our 8 secret stones, although there will be a second copy of this one included in the set with Zelda, but that means we've had the stone of lightning, spirit, wind, water, fire, time, and light, just missing the darkness as far as the individual 8 goes. But yeah, it's a really small polybag, hence why I've combined it with the battle pack. So let's move on to that set now and talk about how these two combine. So as far as battle packs go, and the ones I've made specifically, this one's sort of middle of the tier, probably around Bokoblin battle pack with how army buildable it is. And that's slightly lower than maybe something like the Lizalfo's battle pack, just because the build is largely just this one big structure. And while there are definitely multiples of these gazebos, and you could have more of them, you're not going to want 20 of them just to build up a construct and a Zonai Guard battle pack. That being said, I don't see anyone wanting masses of these. Maybe 3 or 4 would do the job quite nicely. It's one of those battle packs that you want a couple of, but not thousands of, which is just okay. Let's start with the side builds though. We've got a couple here, 3. We've got a portable pot, which is the exact same build from Z0077, the Ultra and Creativity Toolbox, as well as a crate featuring 2 of the rockets from the same set. And once again, this rocket's the same build. This is just another example of the other sets outside Ultra and Creativity Toolbox reusing these prints and ideas to include for their own purposes. But if you had Ultra and Creativity Toolbox, and again you can combine this with this set to kit out your army with even more weapons. My mind specifically goes to the emitters to add to the captain constructs and soldier constructs, but you could also think about adding, I don't know, like mirror shields, like how they would appear in the Lightning Temple, because the idea is this is a cheap and accessible way to these constructs that probably should have appeared in the polybag as well, so that you can army build them and just get a couple for Link to fight at once. And Ultra and Creativity Toolbox facilitates that in another way. But back to this set, the reason the portable pot is included is because it references the memory where Rauru is grieving over Sonia's corpse and they're preparing for war, as we can actually see crates of rockets and portable pots being used to prepare rations and equipment for the army that Rauru leads against the Demon King in the Forgotten Temple. At that point in time, and I just thought that would have made perfect sense to include here. As far as the Zonai military go, this is about all we've ever seen of it. The third small build is just your standard weapon rack, but to make it interesting, on the reverse side you actually have another banner here. This is a vinyl piece, unlike the others which were brick built. This is a vinyl element which represents the Zonai heraldry, which is seen around the Great Plateau in the Molduga memory. And that just sits on here nice and simply, and you've got the 2 weapons that you'll see the guards holding later here on the back, using 2 more of the horn pieces which have been used on various construct builds throughout the CSS. But of course you could switch these out with the other construct horns from the figure constructs here to customize these weapons further, or any other fused ability, whether you believe the Hylian Zonais actually had this ability or not, that's up to you, but it's another play option. Let's move over to the gazebo itself. This takes up most of the parts, although it is worth saying that the 2 constructs themselves do take up a decent chunk of the parts budget here. So the gazebo itself is a hexagonal featuring roof panels, and actually a fairly similar style to the one from the Spring Lantern Festival, although very different in places as well, just a very similar roof panel technique. In fact, you can see that the columns get wider at the top, trying to represent that Zonai trend, but we've got the BB9E heads at the bottom, and again 6 pillars going up. Around the bottom we're using a 8x8 rounded plate to recreate sort of the central piece, so that you have enough room for the table from the Sonia set, but also just to pose a couple of figures and seats. There are some steps going up to the front, and the upper level is a little bit blocky. None of the murals or dragon carvings are represented here, but the squared off different aspects sort of work that and show that quite well. The techniques to actually get this working, this 6-sided shape, is very similar to Spring Lantern Festival, as I mentioned, and that means that the inside is actually quite technical as well, but I'm not showing you that today. We've got a 3x3 dish capping it off, and then just a stack of plates leading to a bar to represent the Zonai top pieces as well. And as mentioned, you're using some curved tiles on the inside just to try and make it a little bit rounder. As while this build is symmetrical on all sides, it kind of doesn't look it. The 3x3s were the closest I could get to make this hexagon shape work. Either way, it does a great job at being what it needs to be. Let's take a look at those figures and then the combination models. So first up today is one of our Hylian Zonai guards. This guy's using one of the lighter skin tone and has the same sort of archaic tunic printing that you would get on the Link in the Great Sky Island, which technically means if you wanted more variety with your Zonai troops, you could get a second copy of this to get more of the helmets, and then take Link's torso from Great Sky Island, and then just use it here as another Zonai outfit. This one's based off the one from the art book. This is actually reusing the headpiece that I brought back from Lego adventurers from the Jungle sub-theme to use on the Zonite outfit for Link as well. So he was reusing it here, and here it is again in another colour combo. We've got a lightsaber blade hilt, a 4-long bar, and then another weapon piece here, which is used on a construct as well as fairly simple printing, and a head that would be dual-sided. It's one of the standard Lego heads, so that you could flip it around and have a different expression. Again, adding more variety if you had multiple copies of a set. Our second Zonai guard is using a different colour again, different skin tone, one of the newer ones, with the light yellowish robe, which is again seen in the art book, but his actual design is based off one of the ones that he's guarding, including his weapon for that matter, is based off the ones that are guarding the royal gazebo in the memory where they meet with Rauru and Sonia and Zelda. Again, he's just using a standard Lego face print, but again the same heraldry priest that I bought back for Ultra and Creativity Toolbox, and then just some leg printing as well. The more interesting figures potentially here are the Captain and Soldier construct. Starting with the Captain one, we've seen him in another set already. We're using the Doc Ock tentacle technique with the minifigure superhero poser pieces recolored into turquoise, and then the sand green polo studs. We've got some printing on the inverted cone piece, the dish, and then the normal cone up top, and once again the horn is removable. He's got his bow in his right hand, and you could always stick another weapon or feature onto his other hand, such as some of the abilities from, well, like the flame emitters from Ultra and Creativity Toolbox. Soldier Construct 2 is very similar here. The second variant, he also appeared in the Aerocude Ram, but this one's a little bit more common, making use of the ring element that I designed for the Zonai. He has his helmet in the top, but you've seen these guys plenty by now, so I'm not going to dwell on it. And he has a stamp piece at the bottom in order to attach him to different studs and put him around. And you could even put these guys in the gazebo. Very blurry reference image. Need to do a better job on this one, I think. And yeah, as mentioned, this one can combine with the Sonia set that I showed you at the beginning of this video to recreate this scene here from this memory. And of course, to do this, you would need Rauru, Zelda, and a steward construct. Luckily, Rauru and the steward both appear in Z074 Great Skyland, which is a must set for fans of the game. And here you can actually see that construct holding the barrel of berries as well. And of course, the hydrant is just here. So again, combined with Ultra and Creativity Toolbox. Again, a lot of that heraldry around the top was missing, but the general shape is here. And of course, as you would expect, you can put the Sonia set inside to recreate the table. So you can see the seats, as well as the golden apple, and the table is laid out exactly like it is from that memory. We've got the bush outside and the bucket for the steward to hold as well, but that's not all, because we could turn this into a shrine similar to the one seen on Great Skyland, but also just imagine other Zonai ruins, where we can take Sonia's secret stone and Sonia's table and put it in the pagoda just to display your secret stone. And you could actually probably attach the others all around, and this could just be sort of some mini temple or something. So again, multiple different uses here, so that's really, really great. And of course, the great thing about this battle pack is that it's an opportunity to get another construct soldier and construct captain to add to our lineup, which is now complete, of our steward, Captain 123, Soldier 123, and seized and Miniru's construct as well, completing the Zonai creation lineup for this wave. So that's actually going to do it for taking a look at these two sets. A little bit all over the place, but I wanted to cover these together because they are so intrinsically linked, and there's, to be honest, just not much going on with the Sonia set. But that doesn't mean it's any less special. I do think it's adorable. The reason I chose to include Sonia in the polybag set and what the subject matter that I included for Sonia is actually a little bit ironic. Obviously, Lego's been making a push to make all these sets just as available to different people as possible, right? To make sure that not everything's just targeted towards young boys. And one of the more ironic ways they did this was with the Princess Peach starter course, where they included just a lot less action orientated. I would have thought that Peach would have wanted to have as much action in starter course as possible. Instead, they included a swing set and a picnic with a toad. So I thought I'd poke fun at this a little bit, as I would have liked to have seen her in her Molduga form, but I think it's much more likely that they would show her in her tea time form. And it's a little bit dainty, but I think it's really cute and adorable. I'm going to buy these parts. They're pretty much all available apart from the bowls in sand green, so I want to have this on my display. I thought Sonia was a great addition to the series specifically, and I really wanted her in this showcase because I think she was a lot of fun, and of course a tragic ending, and was a great mother figure for our Zelda as well. So two great sets to add to the lineup, and are really starting to fill it out with that battle pack. I had to include it somewhere in this wave, and that's 17 out of the 18 sets done now, with one left to go. And of course, as you may have expected, I've saved the finale of the game for last. This is Z0086 Jewel. It will feature 2 secret stones and some much desired minifigures as well. This is going to be a big one. You won't want to miss it. Fortunately, it's going to be a little bit of a wait. It's ready to go, but I'm waiting till closer to the deco tree. So you'll see this in late July, potentially early August. But either way, this is one that you will not want to miss, as this is one of my favorites from the wave and does some crazy things. And it's not just this silhouette here. I've hidden even more from you. So I hope to see you then for that video, and I will look forward to it until that moment. But stick back next week for another custom, I'm sure. And I will see you all again very, very soon. Let me know your thoughts down below, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye bye.